When we think about finding lost history, we usually picture archaeologists digging in the dirt, right? But what if a great city wasn't buried under sand, but was actually lost, scattered across the pages of ancient books? Today, we're talking about a scholar who spent his entire life piecing that history back together, not with a shovel, but with an incredible encyclopedic knowledge of manuscripts.
So that really brings up a huge question, doesn't it? When a story's been lost for centuries, where do you even start? I mean, think about it. How can you tell if a tiny piece of an old manuscript is a priceless clue or just a total dead end? And how on earth do you rebuild an entire world from scraps of ink and paper that have somehow survived fires, wars, and just time itself?
Well, for a scholar like Dr. Ayman Fuad Sayyid, it often starts with something just like this. A single fragile page. This one document. It could be absolutely nothing. Or it could be the key that unlocks a whole lost chapter of history. The real trick, of course, is knowing how to turn that key.
And that's where our guide on this journey comes in, Dr. Ayman Fuad Sayyid. He was born in Cairo back in 1949, and he has dedicated his entire career to this mission. And really, he's so much more than a historian. You got to think of him as an archaeologist of texts, almost like a master detective on the trail of these forgotten stories. So, the core of his work is this incredible science called codicology. And it's not just about reading the words on the page. No, it's about analyzing the physical book itself, the paper, the ink, the way it was bound, as a historical artifact. It's basically the forensics of ancient knowledge. And this is a field Dr. Sayyid totally mastered, earning his state doctorate from the super prestigious Sorbonne all the way back in 1986. Okay, so armed with this really unique expertise, Dr. Sayyid took on what just seemed like an impossible mission, rebuilding one of the most important cities of the medieval world. But he wasn't going to do it with bricks and mortar. No, he was going to do it with the words of the people who actually lived there. His target? A work called Al-Makrizi's Hatat. And look, this isn't just a book. It's the definitive biography of medieval Cairo. It's an absolute treasure trove, detailing its streets, its buildings, its entire social fabric, and its history. The problem was, over the centuries, the original complete version had been scattered and damaged. Its full story was basically lost to time. So, how do you even begin a task like that? I mean, this was a decades-long labor of love. For real. First, Dr. Sayyid hunted down and published the author's own original draft. That was in 1995. Then he spent years, literally years, meticulously piecing together every known fragment to create the final definitive edition. And as if that wasn't enough, he then wrote a whole separate guide just to help other scholars find their way through the world he had so painstakingly rebuilt. And the result of this massive project, get this, 4 enormous volumes, plus an entire separate volume just for the indexes. Seriously, imagine trying to piece together a 1,000-page novel from torn pages you found in a dozen different libraries all over the world. That's the scale of what he accomplished here. This wasn't just editing a book. It was literally reconstructing a city on paper.
But his work didn't stop with the physical landscape of Cairo. Dr. Sayyid also dedicated himself to reviving our whole understanding of one of its most important ruling dynasties, the Fatimids. Now, this was a really critical and honestly often misunderstood power in Islamic history.
See, he wasn't just collecting the puzzle pieces of old texts. In 1992, he published The Fatimid State in Egypt, a new interpretation. And in it, he assembled all those pieces into a completely new picture. He actually challenged the conventional histories, which, by the way, were often written by the Fatimids' rivals, to show us a really sophisticated state with a vibrant culture and a lasting impact. He totally reshaped how historians see the dynasty's true legacy. And to back up this new perspective, he gave other scholars the foundational tools they needed. He produced these definitive, critical editions of essential Fatimid sources, like al-Makrizi's massive 4-volume history of the caliphs, Ityaz el-Khunafa. What he was doing, in effect, was building the very library that future historians would need to carry on the work. And this really highlights a key part of Dr. Sayyid's career. His work goes way beyond just his own research. You have to see him as a true architect, someone who built the very scaffolding that supports the entire field of Islamic history. I mean, his commitment to building that field is just staggering. He joined the board of the Egyptian Society for Historical Studies way back in 1988. He then went on to lead it as president for a full decade, from 2013 all the way to 2023. Think about that. That's a 35-year dedication to a single institution where he helped shape entire generations of historians. On top of building institutions, he also wrote the foundational text for his field. His amazing 2-volume work, The Arabic Manuscript and the Science of Manuscripts, literally sets out the rules for codicology for anyone working with Arabic texts. So he didn't just practice the science, he wrote the definitive guide to it. So, as you can imagine, a career this impactful has earned him recognition far, far beyond his home country. Dr. Sayyid's legacy is truly a global one.
And the awards he's received really tell a powerful story of international acclaim. Of course, his home country of Egypt has given him its highest honors, but his work has been celebrated all across the region for decades. We're talking Jordan in 1988, the prestigious Kuwait Prize in 2009, Iran's World Book Prize in 2013, and just recently, the very first Doha Book Award in Qatar in 2024. It's just a massive testament to a legacy that really does transcend borders.
And the sheer volume of his published work, it's just astounding. When you look at these, from the definitive history of the Fatimids to the complete biography of medieval Cairo, you have to remember that each one of these covers represents years, sometimes even decades, of the most meticulous research and restoration. From literally defining a scientific field to leading its core institutions, this right here is the visible legacy of a 5-decade career spent discovering our past, one single manuscript at a time. And all of this brings us right back to our opening question. The life's work of Dr. Ayman Fuad Sayyid is such a powerful reminder that history isn't just a collection of settled facts in a textbook. It is a living, breathing field of discovery, with incredible treasures still hidden away in archives and libraries. So the question for all of us is, what lost stories are still out there, just waiting on a single fragile page to rewrite everything we think we know about our past?